Present. Beth Brown. Present. Tim Holmes. Present. Anna Mayo. Present. Lathan Craycraft. Present. Xander Myers.
Present.
Jason Shaw. Lindsay Cunningham. Present. Patrick Mullen.
Present.
Michael Cronin.
Present.
Lucas Boyd.
Present.
Macy Zambori. Here. Barrett Fitzgerald.
Present.
Jacob Frazier. Zach Mitchell.
Present.
Michaela Headley. Present. Dylan McDermott. Drika Miska. Present. Adam Brown.
Present.
Brenna Busby. Present. Summer Sutliff. Present. Maggie Hale. Present. Tess Phelps. Present. Lacey West. Present. Johnny Barba.
Present.
Luke Larson.
Present.
Connor Hand.
Present.
Daniel Barr. Present. Rio Besoy.
Present.
Alex Arnold. Present. Tabe Ushinsanya.
Present.
Tracy Wilson.
Present.
Kristen Gill. Present.
Emily has the Vice President's report.
Okay, last week FAD hosted Brew. I was unable to attend, but I heard there was a lot of people and there was really good food. So good job to you guys for that. Delta is this week. They're doing coloring pages, pizza, pop, and cookies. So go out and support them and support Senate for that. And the Capital Growth Committee met after our meeting last week, and we're going to still just continue to gather ideas. We were in Thomas Dining Hall today during Common Hour, and then we're also going to be in Patton on Thursday during Common Hour. So spread the word.
Thanks, Emily. Angela has the Treasurer's report.
For the actuals this week, there are differences in Senate Maine and allocations remainder. For Senate Maine, our female independent rep, Michaela, had her event, Make Your Own Fruit Pizzas on the quad last week. And for allocations remainder, we allocated FAD money for Brood Awakenings.
Thanks, Angela. Claire has the Secretary's report.
Yeah, I've got a lot of post-program assessments, which is really good. Keep it up, guys. ACM's battery purchase, mind mentoring, Brood allocation, Mass BSU casino night, Bernie's caramel apple day, and Win and Sawmill's spectacular performance. Also, Sarah Sadi went to a conference and she sent us a card and she said, Student Senate, I want to take the time to thank you for funding the majority of my KDP National Convention Conference fee. I was so inspired and humbled by the speakers and fellow members. This was an experience that I'll never forget. So that was really sweet of her. It was cool that she got to go. Also, if you're planning on running for exec board elections, petitions on OrgSync open tomorrow and they close next Wednesday at 3, and there's signature sheets outside of the Student Senate office. 50 undergrad signatures, also due next Wednesday at 3. And tonight is representative reports, so don't forget to turn those in.
Thanks, Claire. Do our Senate and campus committees have anything to report? Connor.
So I don't know how many people noticed maybe when they were going through the lobbies today where the bright blue bin that I brought in. But they're here. Just I just went with me today, bought them, and helped me actually put them in all the lobbies. So thanks for her hard work driving me around. Made it a lot easier. Something that we did is a nifty bin tops. The only one we got was Thomas. So here's getting Senate involved. Who lives in Memore that can put this on the menu? Who lives there? Kelly Pat. I'll walk that right. Who lives in, like, do you want both or just someone else you could have had? Want to get both? And then, anyone in Finney? Oh, now we got some competition. Maggie's festival. There you go. So this is a big thing for us in general as senators, since this is a Senate-sponsored thing. So they're there. And it probably means I'll stop talking as much during meetings. I know. But basically, use them. But if you see problems with them, make note of it and let us know. Especially if you see that they're not being picked up necessarily every Sunday. Please let us know, because that is now the next challenge, is making sure that people actually use it correctly. I guess I can answer any questions.
Yeah, I'll open the floor for questions. Thank you.
So are they able to recycle like plastic and cans? And
Is there a paper? Like what all are they allowed to throw in there?
It's a commingling recycling dumpster. So that means plastic, glass, aluminum, cardboard, paper.
Wow.
Sorry.
Is there any way we can get a sticker on there, like sponsored by Student University, Student Senate, or just Student Senate? Might show how Senate is involving itself in the community.
I'm totally for that. When I was putting them out, I was actually thinking of how we can ask someone to maybe like do a sticker or some sort of stencil on there saying like "Go Green" or something like that. So I'm not opposed to it. If anyone is more artistic than me, let me know.
Kim?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but anything, doesn't it have like a recycling, like little triangle on the bottom of anything that can be recycled? So, I mean, you can just tell anyone if you look at the bottom of a container or like paper or whatever, they usually always have the recycling thing on it.
Yeah, and right now I'm pushing for recycling and it being commingling, just getting the word out, yeah, look for the symbol. If you go look on the actual dumpsters, they may give you a range of like cans and glasses that you can recycle, which we can get nitpicky kind of down the road. But I think getting in that habit, you know what I mean, makes it easier. They're near vending machines, so people can maybe see, even if they don't collect them in their rooms and bring them down. Oh, I got this pop. Oh, I drank it while I was in the lobby. I'll just put it in the recycling. So there's signs up too that are made by Claire. So lots of people are stepping up to make sure that this. So, like I said, I'll probably speak less from now on. So I'll go back.
We have a remainder request tonight from World Vision, and Rachel is here to present for us.
I'm Rachel Stewart, and I'm the treasurer of World Vision, and this is Heather Daniel. She's the vice president. And today we're asking for funds for Global Smorgasbord, which is November 16th at 7 p.m. This is kickstarting off International Week, which is November 16th through the 20th. And this event, we are co-sponsoring with Chinese Club, French Club, and also we are representing Nigeria, India, and Japan, and also Spanish Club is going to be there. And they are all cooking food from the different countries. And this will give students the chance to eat the food and also talk to people from these countries and just learn about their culture.
Here are your questions. I'll open the floor for questions. There's quite a breakdown here. Yeah, Elizabeth.
All right, at the bottom of the request, could you scroll down a little, please? It said right there, it says you're transferring the funds to all the separate accounts. Is there a reason why you couldn't just get the funds all in one account and then just spend it on the different items? I'm just curious.
Oh no, well, we had each club actually ask for the money separately, but we were told that we had to ask it as all one, and then like they could divide it up. So, I don't know if that answers.
My follow-up question to that is, would it be more streamlined to just allocate the money all to one account, or?
Jess.
Point of clarity, it's if one group overspends, because it's one event, the idea, which always made sense to me, it's one event, if 4 or 5 groups are co-sponsoring it, let's ask one request for one event. So that, because then if you got a request, you know, from 4 different people, 4 different weeks for the same event, you're like, wait a minute, we already funded this, you know? So one event, one request. Now, say the Russian club, all right, overspent their allocation, that would look bad on World Vision. So this way, if the allocation comes, it's divvied out. If Russian club overspends, it's on them. This way, it doesn't impact somebody else's reputation in this way.
In a way that works from a practical standpoint too, like for instance, when you go to do all this, you just take all these club presidents on a field trip Walmart or wherever you need to go to get your stuff. So that's a way to work powerfully instead of having 4 key cards out, which we only have 3 on campus for students.
What day is this on?
November 6th is a Monday.
Do we need more time to digest this, or are we ready for?
Was that fun? That was fun.
Ready? What do we think? Are we ready for a motion? Anna?
I move to allocate the full amount to World Vision, 600,
I can bring it. Oh, there it is.
638, or 600, what else? Total budget cost is 638, but they're asking for 665.
6:12?
665. Oh wait, before I make a motion, can I ask what this difference is?
Sure.
Hey, it's a difference. The total funds requested 665, but then up top it says total budgeted 638.
The 665, that's the corrected one. I think I forgot to change it up there.
All right, well you had to turn in a receipt anyway, so I move to allocate $665.12 from allocation remainder to World Vision.
Second.
The motion on the floor is to allocate $665.12 from allocations remainder to World Vision. All in favor? All opposed? And abstention? Thank you. The motion passes. Our next remainder request is from Pre-Health Club, and I think, is it Ian? Ian's here to present for us.
Hello, my name is Ian Dooley. I'm with the Pre-Health Club, and I'm an aspiring physician. We have an event to have a speaker come in. The description of the event is a festive, clever, comical, and relatable, or synonymous with the name Chris Bowers, a motivational speaker who strives to make a difference. Coming soon to an auditorium near you. The purpose of this event is to boost student morale, confidence, and leadership development via improvements in mental cognition and health. Our financials include the purchase of a 315-piece bag of candy for $10 and a 165-piece bag of chocolate for $8. Plastic bags to hold the candy came to a total of $5. The smiley stickers for the bag came to $2. The cost of the paper copies of the poster came out to a total of $5. And refreshments for the speaker came out to a total of $5. This is all the affirmation came out to a total of $35, and a total of $1,535. The speaker's fees are $1,500, and he is waiving all transportation costs. The promotion that we're having is the candy bag spread out. We're going to be passing out candy on the quad with the time in place of the event on them, so we can encourage students to attend. We will have all receipts ready in hand and the post-programming forms filled out.
I'll open the floor for questions. Same.
What is the date of this event?
The date of this event is November 17th at 6 p.m. in Boyd.
Do we have any more questions? Connor?
So how did you get, why you guys decided to bring them in?
Modified, I meant to mention that.
What was it?
They had changed the budget.
Oh, okay.
That's what that's.
My question is just what inspired you to get a motivational speaker to come?
This motivational speaker, a lot of members of the Pre-Health Club are familiar with, and he's a very laid-back guy. His presentation is really to boost morale in students and make them to really go out and achieve their goals in life, and for whether it be pre-health, pre-dental, pre-veterinary, even nursing. A lot of students were just looking to boost their morale to continue to reach their goals.
Yeah.
Where's this 1,500 coming from? Do you ever break down all the hotels money and all the travel expenses?
He's waiving travel expenses, including the
Okay.
hotels.
But where's that 1,500 coming
The
from?
$15,000 is his speaking fee.
Dan?
So you said you've already bought the candy and the bags and everything?
Yes.
We cannot fund anything until we cannot fund past purchases. Senate can't fund those.
All right.
Yeah, just no. And also, we just have a limit on $10 for usually funding that type of thing.
Okay.
So we can still fund posters though, we just can't fund the candy since it's right there.
I see that.
Any more questions? Any?
I do like the idea though.
If we're done with questions, I can open the floor for a motion. Dana?
I move to allocate $1,510 from the allocation remainders to pre-health club.
Second. The motion on the floor is to allocate $1,510 from allocation remainder to pre-health club. All in favor? All opposed? An abstention? Okay, thank you. Your motion carries. Our final remainder request tonight comes from Model United Nations, and Dakota's here to present for us.
My name is Dakota Riddle, and I'm the president of the Model United Nations here at Lexington. The Model United Nations is a group on campus that attends the National Model United Nations Conference in New York City every year during the spring. And this event will be held from March 27th, Easter Sunday, to April 1st, April Fool's Day. And at this event, the main thing that the students who are going to be participating in this organization will be doing will be learning the intricacies of the United Nations, actually just a couple blocks from the United Nations, and actually at the last day we'll actually go, sorry, lost my breath. And we'll actually be able to, for the last day, get to go into the actual Model United Nations city here to do that stuff. But mostly throughout the rest of the week, you'll be attending conferences, and we'll be imitating, the many different duties of the United Nations, such as the Human Rights Council, the Non-Proliferation Treaty Council, the Security Council, and the many other different bodies of the United Nations. This year, we've actually gotten 2 nations that we'll be representing. We actually got 2 seats on the Security Council to be Russia, and the rest of the group will be Bulgaria. And I think that's actually a very interesting time to be these 2 nations, especially with how Russia is today and with the relation that Bulgaria has with Russia. It will definitely make the conference a very interesting time to be at. Also, this is a very good time for students to also join this organization because, you're not just going to be meeting American students. I was there last year. Last year was our very first year that we attended the National Model United Nations Conference. And you're meeting students from Germany, from China, from Japan, from Saudi Arabia, from Canada. You're going to get a much bigger world view. So really all students that have backgrounds in anything that would possibly have them meet somebody from outside the continental United States, it's going to be very beneficial for them. Along with, it'll teach you how to be cordial in a professional setting. It'll teach you how to be able to write. It'll teach you how to be able to compromise with other peoples. And really, it'll just teach you how to just conduct yourself in a professional environment. And I think that's why this organization is such a good thing. Also, I think it did very well for our image, abroad, for Muscatine University as a whole. Because before we went there, there's schools like Dartmouth, MIT, the University of Toronto, the University of Berlin, I think, was there. Just so many prestigious universities, and we're sitting there, we're standing right next to them, and we're working right next to them. And they said they were actually very impressed by our work last year, and this year will be much more organized, I believe, to be able to make an even bigger impact at next year's conference.
All of them floor for questions. Emily.
Do you have a registration date that you have to be registered by?
Yes, I don't exactly have the date off the top of my head, but I believe it's sometime during November.
During November?
Yes, I believe so, like late November, I believe.
Okay.
Elizabeth.
All right, I have a two-part question, if that's all right. To start out with, all the advertising I've ever seen for Model UN states that in order to participate in Model UN, one must be registered for the IDIS 140 Model UN class. All right. Well, Student Senate does not typically fund academic endeavors. Additionally, if you were signed up for the IDIS 140 class, must you go to Model UN in order to complete the class?
Not necessarily. It's definitely encouraged that if you take the IDIS 140, that you attend the conference, but it is not a necessity. Really, the IDIS 140 isn't a class within itself, it's the conference. The conference in itself is the 1 credit hour that you'll be getting. There's another class that'll be accompanying it that you, once again, don't necessarily have to take, which will be Poli-Sci 470, which will be teaching the intricacies of the United Nations as itself and all the bodies within it. Again, not mandatory, but definitely suggested.
But the 140 class is mandatory.
Yes.
Okay.
Beth?
So if I understand correctly, if you're going to this, you get a credit hour?
Yes, 1 credit hour.
Yeah.
So theoretically, I couldn't go to this because I'm not in 140 or in Model UN, correct?
I don't think you'd be able to participate in the thing because you'd also have to pay into it because there would be other fees outside of what we're asking for to contribute to.
I think the conference sounds like a really neat idea, but Student Senate has funding guidelines, and unfortunately, like because it is a class credit, we can't fund it. But it's sounds like a really awesome opportunity for you guys.
I just want to specify that the money that we're asking for is simply for registration. It's not for the class at all. It's simply for registration of the students for the conference.
Could I go to the conference?
I'd have to ask. I mean, I apologize for not being more prepared. I was kind of thrown in this last minute because my friend was called away to work. But
Aaron?
2 questions. Have we ever funded this in the past? Like last year did? Also, in one of my language classes, they promoted this event saying that outsiders could go. Invited us to look at it and see if we were interested. So I don't think that this, I mean, if we've already funded it in the past, what's the issue funding it again?
Angela?
We can set new precedents every school year, and every remainder of us we look at, we need to keep the funding guidelines in mind. It doesn't have to be a just because we did it before, we have to do it again type thing. Because if you remember budget allocations, we didn't fund several things that we have funded in the past, so please keep that in mind.
Elizabeth?
If you actually look at the Political Science Department's personal webpage on the Muskingum University website, it states that you must take the IDIS 140 class in order to participate in all the, I can pull it up if you wanted to, but it's a lot of clicks.
Daniel?
We have funded several other class trips before, especially if I remember last year Shakespeare. There was a Shakespeare play that got funded for a travel from English class. And just because we can set new precedents this year, this is still a organization that moves forward and asking for registration fees.
Everybody keep in mind that it is a class credit if you go, so that's kind of where we drew the line for budget allocations. So.
Kim?
I guess my question with that is, this isn't a mandatory class credit. Like, it's not like if you don't go to this, you're not graduating. Like, it's just like a bonus. And I feel like if other classes are also invited to join, I don't think it's really that big of a deal. I think that it's just bettering Muskingum as a whole. And this is like what the whole purpose of Student Senate is to do and to promote. I mean, I think that sending these people would be a great opportunity for them, and they can bring back so many things to the campus and make Muskingum better in general. And I mean, I don't know. I guess it's just personal opinion if we've already funded it, and if it's just, you know, a bonus to add a class credit hour. I mean, I don't see the problem.
Luke?
Is this a normal class with a regular meeting time, or do you guys just have meetings periodically to prepare for that conference?
Yes, we will. There will be one class, poli sci 470, like the IDAS 140 is the conference within itself. There's another class that will be meeting once a week from 6:30 to 9 every Wednesday, just once a week. We'll be learning all that stuff, and there'll be other meetings that which will be set at a later date, specifically for the conference. There hasn't been any specific dates set at this point, though, because the whole process will be starting at the beginning of next semester.
Do you have a follow-up, Luke?
Specifically, like class 1, IDIS 140, the one that you have to take to go, doesn't have a mandatory meeting.
No, it does not. Does not have an official.
So really, it's just for the conference.
Tess.
So for this IDIS 140, do you register it like when you do normal class registration? Do you register it so you already have in mind that you're going to this conference like a semester ahead? Okay.
Elizabeth.
I have a separate type of question. Normally we ask for.
Say it.
That's our responsibility.
13. I'm sorry, Elizabeth.
Okay.
Matthew. No, Harold, sorry. Have you spoken once? Go ahead, David.
How many people are going on this trip? Sorry, just a minute. How many people are signed up for this trip right now?
So far, we are expecting around 16 people to attend. Last year, we had around 10 people, and we have more people every day who are considering joining up.
How many people right now, though?
Right about now, I think we have 8 people who said that are definitely looking to do it, but more people are joining on every day.
Xander.
Are you aware of how other schools fund this sort of thing?
Sorry, one more time.
Are you aware of how other schools fund this sort of thing?
We're not sure. Every school has their own way. Like there are some like of the Ivy League schools that fund it completely, and there's other schools that have no school funding at all and have to crowdfund it themselves. It just really depends on school to school how they fund this endeavor.
Connor.
I know. What's the last year? There was a fundraising attempt to get at least part of the money. Are you planning on trying to do another fundraiser?
Oh yes, we will be doing. Last year, we will admit we were a bit disorganized because it was our very first year attending the National Model United Nations Conference. We did not really have a firm grasp on what we were expecting, but now this year we actually understand what the conference is going to be like. We understand what is needed to be able to attend this conference. So both me and my friend Phil Hicks, who's also an integral part of this organization, have been working hard to set up different fundraising events. We'll be having some in the near future in order to help this, and we'll be having a great number of them in the spring semester as well to help bring down the total budget of this event.
Luke.
So since this is it really isn't class, it's just you prepare for a conference. So it's really no different from the psychology request that we approved a few weeks ago, except that Dr. Arnold has done a great thing and found out a way to get them a credit out. But it's just an academic conference, same as we approved the psychology.
Beth.
I will point out a couple weeks ago when John Whiteman's master came up, he had a request for his event for his class, and we didn't fund it because it was for his class. So this is kind of the same thing, except it's not an event, it's a conference.
He said that this wasn't mandatory for the class. So this is like for John, this event was mandatory for his class for him to pass the class. That is not in this instance. It's just you get an extra credit hour as a bonus. So it's an academic endeavor that they really want to go to. That's just you get an hour bonus. It's not mandatory.
Just a reminder that we need to keep speaking through the chair. Emily.
Okay, I have a couple questions with this. When do you register for this class?
For this class, you'll register at the same time that you register for all the rest of your classes.
So like spring?
So for your spring semester, correct?
Okay, and then if you sign up for the class and then you don't go on the trip, you're essentially just getting a credit.
Correct. Like you will be.
Well, I should have known about this before I was graduating. And then, just saying.
Like you'll have to write a summary about the Model United Nations Conference. That's pretty much all you need to do to officially pass the class. There's no official classes, but afterwards, you're expected to write a, maybe 2-page double-spaced essay about the conference. So that's why it's suggested that you do go there, because it's kind of hard to write a final, essay without having gone there.
Yes. Okay, and then if you don't know how many people are going, how are you requesting $1,000 for the event?
Well, because of the estimates that we got of the people who we believe are going to go there, we believe that this would be a good amount of money to, what's what I'm looking for. Like last year we had 10 members who attended last year, and this fully covered that. So we believe that even though we'll have more members, this will be a good amount of money in order to, give us a good starting point for our fundraising.
Jess?
Can I ask, how much is the actual registration fee per person? Is it $500, $200, $100?
Yeah, I believe it's $100.
So it's $100 per person.
Yes?
I would like to point out two things. One, the funding guidelines, it says that we can only fund registration fees up to $1,000. So no matter how many people there we want, if it's $100, if at least 10 people, it'd be $1,000. And second, though, I just like everybody to keep in mind that, we, like they pointed out before, we do have funding guidelines. And even if they're getting 1 credit hour for the event, it's still an academic endeavor. 1 credit hour, it's still academic. We still get credit for it. So that's still an academic endeavor. And according to the funding guidelines, we really can't fund this, in my opinion.
Based off that logic, wouldn't the neuroscience conference that we had a couple weeks ago be considered academic endeavor? We definitely sent 2 or 3 people to that.
Maggie?
We didn't get any class credit for that, and it wasn't a requirement. It's more of a thing of opportunity, more so than anything.
Tess?
So if the registration date isn't until later November, I just feel like there's a lot of information that we're lacking about this and nothing's really clear. So if we did not vote on this today, would that impact your registration deadline, or?
You can answer.
Again, I'm trying to just get my thoughts together. Probably right about now, I don't think so. If I'm 100% correct, I could probably look it up right now. I'll look it up right now.
What's your question?
This might help clarify some things there. So the whole conference costs $13,000 for the whole cost of the event. The event being the conference costs $13,000. You're assuming based off previous attendance.
Yeah, that's our liberal estimate, correct.
So then you obviously, if that's the whole cost for the event, and let's say registration is late November, you're asking for $1,000 to kick off your fundraising. Assuming you don't have all $13,000 by the end of November, you still will be able to go. So I'm assuming having, I don't know if this is making sense or not. If we don't give you the money, you're missing $1,000 out of $13,000 that you have to pay.
It's November 16th. Sorry to say your question.
November 16th. Okay, so November 16th when you register. If you don't have $1,000, that means none of you guys can go? Because you still have another $12,000 you guys are going to pay.
It would make it extremely difficult. A lot of people would most likely drop out of it because of how much money up front it would take at the very beginning. Because all the rest of the money will be put in increments towards things like travel, towards food, that we'll be paying for ourselves. This is simply just for registration.
Okay, so you have the $1,000 covers
only registration fees.
Registration for how many?
We know we'll have more than 10 people, and that's why we requested the $1,000. That's mandatory because 10 people, 100 apiece.
And you have 10 signed up right now to go?
We have 10 people, yes.
Landry.
I guess this is making the exec board. Are we trying to use the student activity fee to fund more academic ventures or activities that all students can be involved in?
Angela, do you want to field that?
Academic affairs can fund academic, whatever you said, academic ventures, sorry.
Yes.
Technically, if this is a 100 level class and it's IDIS, anyone can sign up for this. So I feel like if anyone can sign up for this, then it's basically open to all of campus. Is there like a cap on how many people can sign up for the class?
20 at this point is the maximum amount that we think we can, officially bring.
But no matter what major or anything, you can
no.
still sign up for it.
If you're, a poli-sci major or you're a physical education major, either way, you can attend.
If we have no further questions, or if we do, yes, please.
You said you had 8 sign up earlier, I think it was 10. As a measure, you might number straight in my head. Is there 8 people going, or like as of right now, you have 8 people sign up for your class, or is it 10 sign up for your class?
I don't have the exact numbers with me right now of how many we have, but we do have a list of people who have expressed great interest in it, and there's been multiple people who have stated that they want to attend. I don't know. I'm sorry if just my numbers may be a little bit off. I don't have any numbers. I'm kind of going off the top of my head.
I'm going to take 2 more questions. Johnny.
Okay. Like again, I'd like to reiterate the conference. That sounds really good. I'm really excited for you guys. 2 things. The registration is due November 16th. Okay. And if you can't get the funding here, what other alternate routes do you have?
It would make it quite difficult given the time constraint. We would attempt crowdfunding sources. We would maybe attempt to try to throw one big, fundraising event on the campus. But as of right now, as we can see with the time constraints, it would be incredibly difficult task to accomplish it.
Emily.
Even if 20 people can't sign up for it, that's still technically limiting the amount of people that can go, and Student Senate does not fund that kind of thing, just an additional side note for that. We don't limit our funding to the students.
I'll open the floor for a motion. Anna.
I move to allocate $0 to World Vision.
Model UN.
Model UN.
The chair understands that the motion is regarding Model UN. All in favor? All opposed? An abstention. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a presentation from Alex Arnold regarding her spiritual life program. Yeah.
Did they get the funding or no?
No.
What are the links?
It was 9 opposed and 1 abstention. We have 35 people here, so it's 25. 25. I'm having a holiday tree lighting event. If you remember from last semester, for those of you who were here, I had a survey go out for spiritual life, and a lot of people said that they would like more events that they kind of bring different religions together. And so I decided to have a holiday tree lighting event, which would talk about 3 different religions. So the idea would be to have the choir sing songs that have to do with holidays, not like specific religions. Faculty members bringing dishes for a potluck style that they enjoy at their holiday. Had some Aramark cookies and 3 speakers, which would talk about the 3 holiday traditions that I was saying. And then at the end, they would have a tree lighting. So I was bringing this event to Senate to see if any senators were interested in helping with the organization of it. So if anybody wants to, they can talk to me. And it will be Monday, December 7th, in the bottom of the chest. And
Would you like to take a few questions? Sure. I'll open the floor for questions. Daniel.
I heard you mention choir. Which choir will be singing?
well, this was the idea, so I haven't asked them.
Do you have a time for the event?
The bottom is reserved from 6 until 10. So
Okay, thank you, Alex. that sounds like something you'd like to be involved in, make sure and see Alex after, or shoot her an email. I'm sure she'll help you with that. We also have Tess, who's going to talk a little bit about NACA. She had some time there.
Hello, everybody. This past weekend, I was fortunate enough to represent Student Senate at NACA. And for those of you who do not know, NACA is the National Association for Campus Activities. So the main goal of NACA is to go and book performers for the upcoming semester or get ideas for any type of events that we have on campus. The conference itself is broken down into 3 sections. We have educational sections, so a lot of those are like things that we can use to improve team building, leadership skills, and programming even. And then they also have showcases where they're broken down into like 15-minute sessions, they're usually around 2 hours long, and from 6 to 8 performers will perform, and so you can get an idea of, hey, maybe I'd like them to come to my campus, or maybe they're not the best fit. And then they're also broken down, and we also have another session at camps, which is where you can go and actually talk to the performers after, figure out pricing, and then they also have items that we can look into getting, like bubble soccer that we had, I think last month Palooza, and then we also had it at homecoming, so stuff like that you can get into. NACA is extremely interactive, and you get to meet a lot of new people and see their ideas and talk about all of your experiences, and it's really fun too. So if you ever get a chance to go, I would highly encourage it. We were able to book 4 performers for the spring semester. It's basically a comedian type of semester. We booked 3 comedians, and then we have 1 magician who also kind of doubles as a comedian, who's really, really funny and great. And then we're also looking to book 1 more. He's like a musical comedian. He plays guitar, he tells jokes, he sings funny little songs, and he's really awesome. So I think we're going to try to get him for the spring at some point as well. We're able to get ideas for Brood Awakenings. They have some really awesome performers that would be really great in like coffee house type settings. And then if you're not familiar, performers typically range, the cost is between $5,000 to like downwards of like $1,200, $1,000. And Muskingum's budget usually only allows for us to book performers at like $2,000. So the great thing about NACA is you're with all these other schools, and a performer might be normally like $2,500. Since our budget only allows for $2,000, we can block book with other institutions, which lowers our rate because we're all close together. So we can get those performers who might typically be out of our price range for a much lower rate. So that's really awesome. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have. So,
I'll open the floor for questions. Yeah, Johnny.
I love your enthusiasm.
I'm really nervous. I'm shaking. I'm really bad.
You're enthusiastic. Playing off well. When you said human soccer ball, you really mean like man ball suit, crash another man ball suit kind of thing? Or is that true?
Like bubble soccer? Yeah, bubble soccer. Yeah.
You've done that here?
Yes. Yeah, like I'm touching one of the walls.
I missed that.
Any more questions for Tess? All right, thank you, Tess. We're going to move on to representative reports. Senior President Tasha Tucky.
We've all swagged through their midterms. We're getting very excited to graduate. There's only 26 weeks left. And don't forget to apply for graduation. The form can be picked up in registrars and dropped off there.
Thank you. Are you done?
Yes.
Okay. Junior President Kim Holmes.
Right now we're just thinking about planning our event. We're thinking about doing like a winter like hot chocolate cookie event. And we're hoping to get it somewhere like in the TOC, one of the last Thursday of classes, just to really like increase attendance this year, because we've usually had it in the chess and some people don't, want to take the hike out. So we were trying to make it really convenient and just something like right before finals to kind of like relax everyone.
That sounds good. Thank you. Sophomore President Jason, he's not here. Who is the VP?
He doesn't talk to me, so
Do you
sorry.
have anything off the cuff you can give us about the class? Okay. Freshman President Lucas Lloyd.
It's just the truth. The freshman class as a whole has adjusted pretty well to muscular life. Many of them are deciding on which major they will pursue. After talking to some of the freshmen, they all seem to be managing the time fairly well. It seems like we are already have passed the first semester, which time's been fun. I've seen a lot of freshmen go to the Hot Topic Tuesdays, which is always a good thing. We are still deciding on our class event since Jacob brought up that Olympics idea. All in all, most of the freshmen seem to be loving the muscular stuff.
Yeah, thank you. Male Independent Rep Zach Mitchell.
Everything is good because the week is over, so now I know who people are. So I can contacting them and figuring things out. That's it.
All right, thanks. That is very important. Female Independent Rep Michaela Headley.
Everything was going good for Female Independence. We just had an event on the quad. It was Maker and Fruit Pizzas, and it went really well. We had a lot of people come and a lot of non-independents come, so it was nice seeing everybody. And got a lot of suggestions about what independents would like to see happen next, so working on it.
Thank you. East Hill Rep.
Everything's good. Sorry, my voice is really bad. Everything's good on East Hill though. A lot of the REs are planning their second round of active programming, so that'll be happening. Also some all-hall talk, at least in Finney Lakeside, we're kind of planning an all-hall. The day went well, other than for my voice. And we've got some new Greek members who will have a little spot on the East Hill in the lounges or on Lakeside. There's some Greek houses, so everything went good though for Greek life. There's been a couple problems with some dryers in Finney. They're out of order, so that's frustrating because there's only 4, but we're getting that fixed. Also, there was a fire drill in Patton yesterday. There was an accidental food burn, but everything's good. And I helped Connor pick a spot to put the recycling bin, so hopefully we'll encourage them to recycle. And I'm excited about that, but that is all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
West Hill Rep Tess Cups.
Just like Nadia said, there's just a lot of programming going on. I know with just the Thomas staff alone, we have programs starting Wednesday that go every day for the next week. So be on the lookout for programs if you're on the West Hill. Also, Townhouses, Fraternity Circle, and Thomas are doing an all-haul, and it's going to be a can food drive challenge. We are pairing up with the College Drive Presbyterian Church, and it's going to last the entire month of November. It's a competition between each floor in Thomas, and then the Townhouses and the Fraternity Circle, both Fraternity Circle houses, to see who can gather the most cans, and then there's going to be a prize as well for whoever wins. And then the only other thing I have is Thanksgiving break is coming up in 3 weeks. Yay! So look for information about that time because I don't think I'll be doing it representative before that. So yeah.
Thanks, Tess. Commuter Rep Lacey West.
We will be having a Trail Mix event this coming Tuesday. Tuesday the 17th is our monthly Taco Tuesday, as everyone knows. And the 24th, before break, is the Commuter Soup Kitchen. So that's something new that we're going to try. So hopefully it will have a lot of people. Our attendance is kind of low for events. So tell all your commuter friends what's going on and that the events we have coming up, they're fun. So hopefully we'll get more attendance. But other than that, the pumpkin carving went well. But like I said, the attendance is low, but the people that were there, it was really fun. So hopefully we'll get our attendance up. And other than that, that's it.
Thanks, Lacey. Transfer Rep Johnny Carver.
I'm Dr. Momensel, and I'm officially on the docket to go in and speak at the next Transfer Student Representative Seminar class. And I'm talking to them next semester about getting in there a little bit earlier so I can talk to people about getting involved in the Senate or different activities on campus. So I'm officially on this docket, so good so far.
Great, thanks, John. Organizational Representative Costco.
So most of the organizations are pretty active. Outdoor Initiative Club is having a mountain biking trip to an indoor mountain biking place in Cleveland. November 21st. They're looking for more and more people since they're a growing club. And they're also looking to get t-shirts. Circle K and Rotaract have been doing lots of service. Circle K did a lot with the dog shelters and are making blankets for Akron's Children's Hospital. They meet on Wednesdays. Rotaract meets on Tuesdays. Talked to Johnny for a lot of stuff there, but I know they might be looking into planting trees if possible, from what I heard. Nursing student organization held a great Halloween party. I think they got around 40 people, and they're actually looking to put on another event November 13th for Alzheimer's awareness. And Mind is always working hard, mentoring. The Republican parties were out there, or the Republican club was out there for a voting table. Had lots of candy. Not all of it was taken, but they definitely had some to give out. Bronies did their caramel apple and was fairly successful. EA might be having fruit baseball or an event coming soon where they smash fruit with a baseball bat. It's been pretty popular in the past couple of years or so. And then the things that we approved are happening. But they're getting really active and turning in more post-program forms, so they're doing good.
Thank you, Connor. Honorary rep, Luke Larson.
Captain Pod, which is an education honorary, is putting on a Scholastic Book Fair November 19th to 13th on the recovery. We'll be able to all students, faculty, and staff. The program supports their Literacy Lab initiative for KDP Nationals. Lambda Sigma is having a baking night to make treats for local police and firefighters in the near future.
Academic rep, Dan Barr.
There are two hot topics Tuesday left. They're not, you have to give your impression, but if you're not freshmen, you can just show up if you want. So November 10th, we have Atlas training, which is the how to be safe on campus if something happens. And then November 17th is room draw. In other news, the Roberta A. Smith Library will be opening next semester. So that's awesome. Education department will be hosted there, and I think most of you got to see it, so a beautiful new academic building. If you plan to graduate this year, or plan to graduate next year, and you know that you're graduating, go to the registrar's office, fill out the application to graduate. It takes you 5 minutes. If you're a junior, just go ahead and fill it out. It saves you time later down the road when they have to ask you for one. December reception for graduating students is December 12th at 10:30.
In the morning?
Yeah. I don't make the dates. I just went and found it. Seniors who are graduating are asked to actually meet in Montgomery at 9:30 in the morning. Just what looks like it says. And this assessment is available for your educational needs. If you need help with a project, a paper proofread, an exam coming up, go see them. We pay students money to help you learn.
Thank you, Daniel. International Student Rep.
Okay. So International Week is coming soon, which starts 14th on Friday to 20th on Friday. On 14th, November 14th, there's karaoke night, co-sponsored with MPB. Hopefully we're gonna have some people who wants to sing the song, and we are expecting to have 3 judges for the night, and there's a couple prizes from Chipotle's and clean pizzas, something like that. On 16th, on Monday, we just got the money for Global Smorgasbord, which starts 7 p.m. in Fini. We are expecting to have lots of people come and have like international discussion with it. And through 16th to 19th, we have a scavenger hunter. World Vision is trying to hide the Easter egg around the clock. If you find the Easter eggs, you can bring either Global Smorgasbord or Brick Awakening, which is on Thursday. You will get the t-shirts, free t-shirts, which has a really good designs actually. And like I said, 19th on Thursday, we are going to host the Brick Awakening. We are planning to have an international bingo, and also you can win the t-shirts at the time. We're gonna have Wally's Pizza as a food. And the 20th, there is the international dinner and international talent show, which starts hopefully, I believe, 6 p.m. The tickets for the international dinner is available in the cafeteria next week. If you're living off campus or don't have a meal plan, you can also buy the tickets, I think, at the Baoshank's office, I believe. I'll please check the Baoshank email maybe next week. So we're really excited about the International Week. As international students, we start practicing for the talent shows. It's not gonna be great, but hopefully I will see you all there. It'll be fun, I think. So that's all.
Coming up, here we go. Spiritual life rep Alex.
Alright, some things that are always on campus. Cruise Wednesday nights at 9, Church Thursday at 11, and Catholic Mass is at 6 on Sundays. Cruises have their fall retreat, and it went really awesome. They had 9 people who went on that. And then upcoming events are the Glow Games. It's going to be either late November or early December, and there's going to be an oxygen bar, DJs, black lights, glow-in-the-dark volleyball, dodgeball, and maybe basketball, glow-in-the-dark cotton candy, and it'll be in John Glenn Gym. And then they're having a Thanksgiving dinner, and then holiday tree lighting. That'll be beginning of December.
Great. Thanks, Alex. Multicultural.
All right, Mass BSU is having an event called Dresses for Africa on November 5th, which is Thursday. So if you don't know, the event is basically you're collecting pillowcases and then you're weaving them into dresses and you're going to send them off. And so the box for the pillowcases is in the BOC, so check it out. It's by the door. So like as soon as you walk in, to your left, there's the box.
Thanks, Robert. Female athletic rep, Cynthia.
Alright, well, volleyball season is now officially over. They lost in 3 years on Carroll tonight. So sad, but we had a great student section. Like it was half red. Like it was the best I've ever seen in my 4 years here. So volleyball finished up 21-10. Taylor, the sophomore setter, was named OAC Player of the Week. Basketball has started their season. They're ready to get going with that. Cross country just finished up their season with OAC this week and they finished 8th. And soccer went 2-15-1. I don't think they have a regular win. I'll check it out. I missed that one. Yes, soccer is us. Thank you. I thought so. That's all I got.
Thank you. Male athletic rep, Tracy Wilson.
Fall sports are ending up. Football has its last 2 games, and we haven't been doing too well. Things are pretty much going smoothly as normal.
Thanks, Tracy. IFC representative Dylan McDermott. He's not here. NPC representative Chandrika Mishra.
Okay, so we had our formal recruitment week this past week, and it was from Monday through Friday, with Saturday being our bid day. And on Saturday, officially, we had 120 people join the Greek community, so that was really good. And for any organizations that could still give out bids after, went ahead and did that, and they can accept those until Friday. So that's going on. And we're also coming up with ideas for fundraisers. And in the past, we did a spaghetti dinner. I believe it was last fall or last spring I wanted to do, but we're planning on doing one of those again.
Thank you. MPB rep, Adam.
This Friday we're playing Big Hero 6, and then on Saturday we have Mission Improbable, which is a improv group. Both are at 9 p.m. in the bottom of the Chess Center. We would love for a big turnout for Mission Improbable as well as the movie, so I encourage your friends to come. As Tess said, we have looked for performers for next semester, and all of which are comedians with one magician, and we encourage you to join us Mondays at 7:30 in this.
Except, B&M rep, Brandon Foster.
B&M goes on issue.com every Tuesday. There's a new issue on campus every Friday. They hand it out in the BOC from 11 to 1. For new news, we started getting advertisements. Our first half-page ad was last week. We will have another half-page one this week. And then I will start going around the Concord trying to get more ads in the next few weeks.
Thank you. School representative Somerset.
We put next year's yearbooks at halt, saying as it was voted by Student Senate to not have a yearbook anymore. And then we also got confirmation today by Janet Peterbass that it's no longer a thing. And we've also had to reduce the number of pages of last year's yearbooks so that we can give out a decent amount of yearbooks. We will be handing out 600 yearbooks, and the seniors from last year, which was about 300, will be given one first, and then the rest will be first come, first served. And we plan to have this year, or last year's yearbook done by the end of this month and handed out before the end of the semester.
All open for new business. Jess.
I have a couple things for you guys. There were some complaints about loose tiles on the side of the chest and the lights on the bridge being out. I just want to let you guys know that I did bring it to this plant's attention, okay? And they're taking care of it. Another plug for that advisor social this Friday. I'm cooking, guys. So it's going to be really nice to have little prizes and stuff for them. So Greek is included in that. If you guys have advisors, please encourage them to come. We want to try to meet some of the people that shape your world. There's a big push lately on bonfires. Y'all love to set stuff on fire. And I appreciate that deeply, but let's maybe coordinate some of those fire starters, okay? This plan's getting hit with a bunch of requests, and all at the last minute too. Just a reminder, it's a 48-hour minimum window to let them know in Fuego is going to happen, okay? So, an opportunity for you guys is either as Senate or as the clubs and organizations you're a part of. Janet Peterbass is super amped about this concession stand idea. I got to work for free for 2 hours on Saturday. Jason and I went dressed as Black Eyed Peas. It was hysterical. But there's some money in there, so during the volleyball and basketball season, if you want to know more about that, maybe raising a little bit of money for your organization, please pop in and, actually don't pop in. Well, you can, I guess, but send her an email and tell her you're interested. She's looking for students to staff that. I told her I will today, I'm sorry. We just got approved for the vagina monologues it's coming in February. Just keep an eye or ear or other body part aware of that. Ladies, especially if you'd like to audition, I'll be producing and Stacey Allen will be directing. So just a thing for you. 2 things I want you guys as a Senate to start thinking about. One is the change of venue that we kind of tapped on a little bit, scratched out a little bit earlier this year. Obviously, again, we had more than 2 people come to visit us. Thankfully, people were gone today. So you should come though. If you're not here and you're watching this, you're in trouble. But again, let's put some serious thought. I'd really love to have that nailed down by the end of the year with a new exec board coming in. I'd like to, so whether we do a round robin or we try a couple venues out, please just put some legit thought into this. And I'll take a couple suggestions next month or next week, and we'll see what we can do to make that happen. And the very last thing, I promise, and I'll shut up. As Senate, I would really love to see you guys put together a service project. Okay, so whether you want to piggyback off of, I heard some great ideas floating out around there, especially with the holidays. Please keep in mind the holidays are really difficult for a lot of people for a lot of reasons. So whether it's actual time and service, it's cooking, it's cleaning, it's getting kids gifts, whatever it is that really drives you, please come next week with change of venue ideas and some service project ideas. All right, I'd love to chat about that over. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Quick question. It was mentioned last week, anyone really. It was mentioned last week or the week before something that as class officers we have to put on an event once a semester. Years past, I thought that was once a year. And I can't find in the Constitution where it specifies how often we're having this class event. Does anybody know? Yeah, position description says, that's a position description for exec board and president. We're not about like a separate. It's not in the bylaws. There's like a separate.
If I remember this correctly, my freshman year when I was put into the president position, they originally had it as 2 a semester, but because we're budgeted so low on how much we're actually given, they said they changed it, I believe, to 1 a year, so we had more money to spend on it to make it better, instead of like 2 crappy ones.
Once a year, we found it.
Caleb, can you read it?
Sure. This is for under the president's responsibility. It says responsible for planning at least 1 class event per academic year. So we need one.
Secondly, given all this funding deadline, crazy, is there, when an organization goes to fill out a remainder request, are the funding guidelines available to them online?
At the beginning of the semester, when they register as an organization, they have to check a box that says, I have read and understand the funding guidelines, and their advisor has to do the same thing.
So particularly the limitations.
They are kind of at like the defense of lying about that and not that. So.
Two things. First, when you see Jacob, because he wasn't here tonight, congratulate him on his winning pumpkin for the Aramark pumpkin carving decorations. He won first prize, so congratulate him on that. Second thing is that if you want to join the Volleyball Committee or just want to sit in on our meeting, we're having a meeting this Thursday. The TOC will be brilliant, Jess Edge. Not Brown Eyes, on that one. And so come if you're interested. One thing we might be talking about is maybe venue changes. So come on by.
What time is that?
11 o'clock, common hour. It should not last more than 45 minutes.
Thank you, Jamie. Connor.
I'll be sitting out on the quad Thursday. During common hour to sign up for groups again. So it can be any Greek organization, it can be a service organization, like Rotaract. Sorry, Colin, it's all for next semester though, because this semester is already full. So compete for how many you have to sign up for. Also, my small group communication class that didn't ask for money is putting on an event hopefully this Saturday with the dog shelter where we're just going to have dogs on the east lawn. So come walk dogs. 10:30 East Lawn Saturday.
Thank you, Connor. Pass.
With all this fire talk, if you live in a townhouse or a community circle, we're doing a fire extinguisher simulation program tomorrow evening at 6:30. The New Concord Fire Department is graciously coming, and they have a little setup where they can light a fire, and you can have a fire extinguisher and spray it out. So it's really cool and fun. So you should come.
Great. Topic.
That Dresses for Africa event is again on Thursday at 7 p.m. to 9:30 in the bottom of the chess center.
Thank you, sir. Any more business? All right, I'll go through. Oh, geez, 1 minute. Senator of the week. Our senator of the week this week is Ada Mayo. For her involvement in the Senate and for her willingness to be an important part in Senate discussions. So thank you, Anna. Now I'll adjourn.